Falcon fans, Falcon fans. What it do? It's your boy Jack Spade. Represent for one time for the fan, like Jack Spade loves to do. In here, represent also for Kiki, no Bodie, no Chase tonight here on One Time for the Fan. But you never know who might be pulling up to the podcast to talk Atlanta Falcons football. It's always great chatting it up with the fans. Chat is also getting ready to start going crazy. Bring your questions, bring your comments. Talk about Falcons Houston. We can talk about Falcons Commanders this Sunday. Got some interesting information for you all. Some good knowledge, good Falcon knowledge. Chat, what's up? Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button, man. Let's go ahead and get to it. Feeling good, feeling great. As we say out here in the A. Weather kind of sucked today, so that didn't really help out. But then again, it's October. So for all you Falcon fans out there, sitting at 3-2 right now, it's a pretty good feeling. Then the games that we have coming up, I think you guys should also feel good about, because the way the Falcons have been playing this season, it's very possible that you could be 4-2 on Sunday, head down to Tampa to then go 5-2, and then head to Nashville for a year 6-2. So in a matter of weeks here on the podcast, things could change here on One Time for the Fan. Hell, I told you guys on the last podcast with Kiki and Bodie that in a month's time, probably close to like Thanksgiving or so, we could be talking playoffs with the way this record could be looking here in Atlanta. But yes, always representing for One Time for the Fan. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, anywhere you can Google us, whatever, Yahoo, Bing, Xbox search, whatever. I don't care what you guys do. Just type in One Time for the Fan. We outside this season. Been doing this for a while now. So without the crew tonight, we still rocking. But hopefully we might have somebody coming in here to talk Falcons football with us. Bubba Gump is in the chat. We love going to the chat first here on One Time for the Fan, because I'm a fan. You're a fan. Everybody here in this chat's here a fan. Everybody who's listening is a fan. We represent for the Falcons organization, and we represent in a major way. Bubba Gump dropping emojis already. First in the chat. Always big shout out to everybody who makes it first in the chat too as well, because you get the notification. And of course, you're taking the time. Oh, good run. I'm watching the Chiefs-Viking game from Sunday, but you get the notification. And of course, you guys do show up in the chat and represent for the Falcons fan base. So big shout out to you all. Hand claps to you all. But let's go straight to it. Bubba Gump, representing for One Time for the Fan. What's up, Bubba Gump? DSGB Hall's in the chat. He said, one time, what it do? Hashtag the fan club. Hashtag one-timers. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Represent your section that you're sitting in at the Benz on Sunday. A lot of season ticket holders here in the chat. A lot of Falcon fans who buying single game tickets this season due to the excitement of the Atlanta Falcons. Representing what section you're going to be in there too as well. If you're going to the game Sunday, go ahead and drop your section in the chat right now. If you're going to the game Sunday, drop your section in the chat right now so we can go ahead and represent for you on One Time for the Fan. Bubba Gump, DSGB Hall, Terrell Johnson's here in the chat. He said, rise up, bro. What's good, Terrell? William Amy, he said, let's get it. Must statement win against a tough front seven Commanders. That is true. It is a must win this Sunday. It'll definitely be a big statement win for the NFL and for the Atlanta Falcons if they can come away with this and take the 2-game leap with their record. At the moment, they're 3-2. They're playing a 2-3 team. But don't forget about the Jacksonville game too as well, guys. We went in there 2-1 with a Jacksonville team that was banged up. I believe they were 1-2 as well. And they came away with a win in London. But I believe this Sunday the Falcons do have a very good chance of coming away with another win. Score predictions, we'll talk about that later. But the way that Desmond Ridder came off his performance on Sunday and the way that the team represented as well, to assist with Desmond Ridder's performance, I would say is a very good job from our Atlanta Falcons. I know it wasn't the biggest win. It wasn't a dominating win, but you came away with a win, Falcons fans. Let's go ahead and get straight to that. Sullivan said, oh, shucky ducky, we back in this. You already know we back in this, Sullivan. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Twitter. I don't know. I told Bodie just put us on every site. So that's what we did. And now we outside, man. Everybody's loving One Time for the Fan. We are growing. It's crazy. We started with 2 subscribers last year, Now we got over 500. We're moving in the right direction. So a lot of special guests that we bring here to the channel, a lot of Falcon fan talks, the breakdowns that we do too as well. Big shout out to everybody who's been supporting. One time for the fan. William Amy said, we need the Benz pack this week against the Commanders. I will say this because you guys know how big I am with the Rise Up Tour and traveling as an away fan and showing up, with your fan base and taking over stadiums. Washington does have a little bit of a fan base. And they do travel just a little bit, not too much. We're going to see Commander fans everywhere, but DC ain't a team where, the fans don't represent. There are some fans in DC. I have to give it to them. So you probably will see some Commander fans over there. The Texans, different story. What you saw on Sunday wasn't that many Texan fans in there. It was actually pretty quiet for the Texans when they're on defense. Of course, when the Packers came here earlier this year, and some of the teams that we played in the past, it's usually a little bit louder than that when you just see some of these fan bases. But there will be a couple Commanders fans there this Sunday. But our Falcon fans have been doing a great job creating this hostile environment. Home field advantage. Coach talked about that too as well recently. But for you, Falcon fans that's been at the game, you guys are noticing the difference. Let's keep it real, right? You go into the stadium, there's been a lot more fans in their seats. I said it on Sunday, there was a lot of fans in their seats by kickoff, by the national anthem. And that is great to see because there are fans who said, well, you have to win to get us in the building. Well, they're winning. I know it's early in the season, but they're winning. So for Falcon fans that wanted the team to win, for them to get my butt in the seat, now they're winning. They're 3-2 with the look of going 4-2 on Sunday against the Commanders, possible going 5-2 in Tampa, 6-2 against Nashville, 2 away games, coming back to the Benz for another home game with a really good outstanding record. And then you're going to have to try to fight for tickets because the price won't be the same. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And this team is showing the fight for that. Started out the season 1-0, then going 2-0. Went on the 2 road games, went 2-2, came back to the Benz and had a win against Houston. Now we have to go play the Commanders, which most fans and some of the media is saying that should be a win for us. Look at NFL on Fox. They've already started putting out there that the Falcons should win this game on Sunday. So for all you Falcon fans out there, feel good at what you got on the field. The product is what you guys wanted. The entertainment has been through the roof. The halftime performances that they had, third quarter, this fifth quarter thing they got, where if you're in a club or a suite, they got the music and the after hours entertainment still working for the fans that's hanging around the stadium. And of course, after 3 big wins at home, you feel good about going to a restaurant downtown or going to another tailgate after the game. Most of y'all left that game on Sunday feeling so good. I kept hearing y'all say, I can't wait to go watch Sunday Night Football. I was like, damn, the Falcons playing again? They're talking about the 49er Cowboy game because, how big that game is just in the NFL for NFL fans. And as you can see from watching the game, wasn't much to watch. 49ers going to tear that ass up. We already knew it was going to happen. But for Falcon fans, y'all were so excited about walking out of that stadium Sunday. The kick by Koo, Desmond Ridder over 300-plus yards. No picks, just what he did as a quarterback after the week in Detroit and then the week in London, and then fans just started chitting and chatting. So to see the performance from Desmond and the fan base light up because of it, big shout out to you all for coming to the Benz. But yes, William Amy, we got to pack out the Benz on Sunday. Manny, he's in the chat. He said, rise up. Of course, Deloach is in the chat. He said, yes, sirski. One time, it's going down in a major way when you got celebrities like Sonya Norwood in the chat. Big shout out to Sonya Norwood, represent that dirty birdness. Rise up, fam. Shout out to Sonya Norwood in the chat. Falcon fans, let's talk some Falcons football. Bring your questions, bring your comments, because it's going down in a major way this Sunday. Falcons Commanders with the opportunity to go 4-2. Every fan in here is sitting at 3-2, and I know you want to go 4-2. Everybody in here knows you want to go 4-2. Let's cut the bullshit. All right? From Deloach to Sonia to William to Sullivan to Rail, Bubba Gump, Kiki, all who's watching, listening, everybody wants to go 4-2. There's no denying it. Show me one fan in this chat who doesn't want us to go 4-2 right now. Point him out. Tag him. Except for that Jaguars fan. Point him out. Everybody in this chat wants to go 4-2. I think we're going to get there. Let's go back to Sunday real quick with the Falcons against the Texans. The performance from Desmond Ridder, 28 of 37, 329 yards, 1 TD, no sacks, 111 rating for the game. For Falcon fans out there that was doing the shitting and chatting earlier last week about Ridder's performance in London, how embarrassing it was. It's time to bench him. It's time to get him up out of here. I don't know if this game against the Texans sold you on Ridder yet. And I understand it because every Falcon fan has their opinion. We totally understand it. But for me, you know how I rock with the organization and with the team, whatever decision that they make. Of course, I'll be sitting here talking about it on One Time for the Fan or with my friends and family in whatever respective chat that I'm in. But even with his performance the past 2 weeks, I still didn't see the Falcons getting ready to go ahead and start just make the bench to Desmond. Like, bench him now, bring in Heineke. I didn't see that happening within the first 4 weeks. I seen a team that said they're going to ride Desmond Ridder out as much as they can, and he is the starting quarterback. We have to agree that he is going to be the starting quarterback. And when you put up a game of 28 for 37, 329 yards with no picks, and you come away with a win at home, you not only get some of those fans back on board, but you really start showing the coaches that they can believe in you, that they can trust in the play calling, some of the things that they did. Because some of those throws, some of those communications that you've seen on Sunday with Desmond Ridder, it came from Desmond Ridder, right? There was a lot of plays that could have easily broke down, and you could have seen a Desmond Ridder like how we saw in Detroit. Or you could have seen a Desmond Ridder like how we saw in London. But you didn't see that. You seen a little bit more confident Desmond Ridder, a little bit more poised and relaxed Desmond Ridder. In the pocket, the pass protection was great. The checkdowns, the route, the play calling that was being called out there, it fit what Desmond Ridder wanted to do. And then to back it up, you have a phenomenal talent such as Bijan Robinson. The one-handed catch behind the back. You get into highlights on ESPN. You're getting all this NFL exposure because you got these weapons on offense. But a lot of compliments and thank yous need to go out to Desmond Ridder from Sunday's performance. And I know it's a week 5 thing, but it does take time to get Desmond Ridder going. You know what I'm saying? Not every quarterback is going to come out the first 2-3 weeks and just start going crazy. I know that San Francisco's undefeated, but that's a team type of thing too as well. It's not just Brock Purdy. But for Desmond Ridder in this position, big shout out to him because a lot was riding against Desmond Ridder this past Sunday against the Texans. If you would have lost this game, you could have had fans from all over the world going at Desmond Ridder due to the fact that our Falcons fan base was very crucial the past couple of weeks from the performance of our quarterback. But what you've seen on Sunday was a more confident Desmond Ridder in the play calling. I think the week of practice with coach and everybody else out there on the team, it really did something to him. I guess the 8-hour flight didn't mean much heading back over from London because they went out there against Houston. And I know it was a battle up until the end, up until the kick by Koo. But the Falcons, they stayed in the game. There was multiple times that Houston could have ran away with the game. And somebody would say, well, hey, there's multiple times that the Falcons could have ran away with the game. That is true. But the way the game is played, the Falcons still found a way to stay in there up until the last minute to where they won 21-19. And yes, my game ball from Sunday definitely goes to Desmond Ridder. On the offense, going to the defense, D Alford. Let's come on. Let's just go ahead and just throw that out there. But my game ball on offense goes to Desmond Ridder. But of course, it's going over the stats on Sunday. Bijan Robinson, 14 for 46. Tyler Algier, 17 for 40. Got to get CP activated a little bit more in that run game. I believe he's going to help us out in a much needed situation going down in the next couple of weeks because we're going to play some teams where we're going to have to definitely run the ball on them. Tampa Bay, they're not as slouch as the team as I thought they were going to be. And for that, we're going to have to go down there in Tampa Bay and really make some noise because that is going to be probably a first place competitive game right there. Whoever wins that is probably going to get first because Tampa, I'm surprised to see where they are right now. I'm so surprised. Same thing for New Orleans. I thought they was going to go out there to New England and wet the bed, and they did not. New England actually wet the bed. So disappointing to see the Patriots put up that type of performance at home. Kyle Pitts, 7 for 87. Big game from Kyle. Drake London, 6 for 78. Big game from Drake. Jonnu, 6 for 67. Mac, 2 for 29. Keith Smith caught a pass. Michael Pruitt caught a pass. Bijan caught 2. Cordell Hodge caught 1. Scotty Miller and CP all had catches. So big shout out to Desmond Ridder working the wheel on that offense. We did talk about when you have so many weapons, how do you use them? Well, Desmond Ridder definitely used them well on Sunday, going 28 of 37, 329 yards, no picks, 1 touchdown pass, and 1 touchdown run for Desmond Ridder. Going over that defense that kept us into the game so much, D. Offer definitely is on the top of the list for me. Caden Ellis, Jeff Okudah, Calais Campbell before. Of course, he also got injured too as well. Arnold Ebiketie, Richie Grant, Jesse Bates, who could have had his first interception over CJ Stroud of the season. Just playing so well, Falcons defense, in a position where you needed to make some stops to get the ball back so that way Houston couldn't run away with the score. Fans did come out and say, oh, you're playing against CJ Stroud. He's going to air it out on that Falcons defense. He's going to air it out. Look what he's done in the past 2 weeks. Look what he did to the Jags. Look what he did to the Steelers. Nah, a little bit different against playing against the Falcons at home. But Falcon fans, feel good that your 3-2 team is going to the Benz on Sunday to play against the 2-3 Commanders. And yes, we should come away with a win. Sullivan said, how about Pitts? Pitts' performance, I must say, the other night, 7 for 87. Pitts looked good out there. He did. And I know some people was putting out the videos of his route running, and he didn't look like he was 100%. But for me, I think Pitts was getting a little bit of his shine back out there on Sunday. The passes that he was catching, the routes that they had him running, there was a lot of chemistry there between Desmond Ridder and that receiving core on Sunday. So big shout out to Kyle Pitts. Also had a chance to just chop it up for him after the game too as well. But big shout out to Kyle Pitts. Big shout out to Desmond Ridder, because this is the tight end that everybody wants you to get involved with. You need to see more Pitts. And if we get Pitts as active like this going forward, that's going to be so tough for teams like the Commanders. So tough for teams like the Bears we have to play at the end of the season. The Cardinals, who I think they're 0-4 right now. Looking at some games, you're like, man, Pitts can go off in some of these games coming up. Looking at some of these teams that we do play. Any update on Campbell? Falcons injury report. We do have that for you today. Limited, we have Caleb McGarry with the knee, Jonnu Smith, Bud Dupree, and the veteran rest was Calais Campbell for today. So that is what we have for the injury report going into Sunday. A lot of talk about maybe the Falcons. Well, this is not coming through the Falcons media, but a lot of talk in the Falcons community that after the trade that they made this week for Van Jefferson, big shout out to Van Jefferson. Welcome to Atlanta. Downfield, high-flying receiver. So if Ridder wants to launch 30, 40, 50-yard passes from watching this guy's tape, Van Jefferson might be your guy, because he played with Matthew Stafford for a couple seasons. And let me tell you something, Stafford got him the ball. So let's hope that Ridder can do the same. But looking at the trade the Falcons made for Van Jefferson, is it possible we could bring in a pass rusher soon? A lot of talks about this. Daniel Hunter in the Falcons community, Chase Young in the Falcons community. What could possibly happen here in the next couple of days or before the trade deadline for the Atlanta Falcons? Will they bring in a significant pass rusher who can help this defense? Because even at 3-2, I think we're still less than 15 sacks right now on the year. And I know it's 5 games in, but you got teams like Seattle who just had 9 sacks the other day. The Bills had 10 sacks against the Giants. The Bills had 9 sacks against the team that we play Sunday. So I'm hoping that Calais Campbell can get his 100th sack and we can get Sam Howell on the ground. But we got to bring a pass rush Sunday to know that 2-0 team that started out in Washington, they just lost 3 straight. And now it's time to come into Atlanta with a team that is hot off of beating the Texans. And it's a possibility that we can go in there and smack them around on Sunday. And you still have to watch out for their front line, because Washington has a very good defense. But it just hasn't been working out for them recently. Now the Falcons get their chance to go ahead and get some more sacks on Sunday, playing against a quarterback who wants to stay in the pocket, who wants to throw the ball downfield, and will wait that extra second if he has to get the ball downfield, which means that extra second that the Falcons needed a couple weeks ago, Sam Howell seems to be the guy that's going to give you that extra second on Sunday. So for Campbell that has his hand there that couldn't get there before, that hand there now means that might be your sack. Same thing for Bud Dupree. Same thing for Arnold Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone, Grady Jarrett, David Amenyata. You got to get Sam Howell on the ground, and you got to get him on the ground very early in the game. We have somebody here joining us now. It ain't Bodie. Bodie's still at work. It ain't Chase. And we know it ain't Kiki. But it's the one and only greatest content creator in the world. Braves just lost 10-2. Jesus Christ. Big Low Country Sports is in the building. So for all you Falcon fans here in the chat, told y'all you never know who could stop by to talk Falcons football with us. And of course, Big Low Country Sports has joined us tonight on One Time for the Fan. And Coach Ronnie. Coach Ronnie!
Yeah. I can't see.
How is everything going over there for y'all? How's everything going?
Man, we over here at Fair Department, cloudy over here, Bo. You know, chugging along. You already know what time it is. We're good with y'all, man.
Oh, man, we are having a great time here on One Time for the Fan tonight. William Amy already talking about Big Low Country. What they do?
What's going on, Will? What's going on, man?
What in the world, Bo? DSGB Hall's already in here with the What in the World, Bo. Here comes all the What in the World, Bo. Go ahead and drop the What in the World, Bo, in the chat. Sonny Norwood, man. Big Low.
What in the world, chat? What's going on, fam? Hope everybody doing good out there tonight, man. Hope everybody's staying dry. Dry.
I woke up this morning, and you know me, man. Sometimes I just got to bed, and I just go with the flow. So when I saw the sun, I put the shorts on, man. Put the flip-flops on, too.
Oh, okay.
Then it got to about 5 o'clock, and I realized this was a bad idea.
This was a bad flip-flop to swim around now.
I mean, hey, man, hey. Good thing we buy socks on the regular, man, because I just ran through about 4 pairs this week. Nah, I'm just playing. One Time for the Fan, Big Low Country Sports. Big shout out to Country and, of course, Coach Ronnie, who can take some of the time out of their day to join the podcast here and chop it up with the Falcon fans, because the Falcons are 3-2, Country. Everybody is feeling good because maybe this team is what people were talking about. And I know it's early in the season, but maybe this team is what people were talking about with the excitement from Bijan Robinson. We got weapons like Drake London and Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, and we got to even throw now Scotty Miller into the mix. But Country, you was there Sunday. You saw a Falcons team come out there to fight as hard as they can to get a win. What are just your overall thoughts of just the Falcons Texan game from Sunday as we just recap it?
I mean, I think it's a situation where the offensive personnel got together. Whenever I say the personnel, I mean like the coaching staff, and, quarterback coach, offensive line coach, everybody kind of got together, and I think they just kind of reaffirmed what the mission was. So, moving forward, I don't know if the play calling became a little bit more collaborative. I know in my show, I actually mentioned that. I think, there may have been more people who had their hands in the fire when it came to play calling. And shouts out to JR from Pound for Pound. He sent me something on Twitter, said, "Hey, Coach Lowe, I think you might have been right, because whenever they did the soundbite that they released today, Arthur Smith was giving people props for some of the plays that were being called."
I know.
Coach Rhoda said she knew it, so but yeah, I mean, so I think we've seen exactly how we see the potential of this offense moving forward, and we see what this defense is. This defense is a top 10 defense, and they're not even getting sacks. So I mean, just imagine if they do get to the quarterback with a guy like Sam Howell, who tends to babysit the ball a little bit. So we'll see what happens from here. Hopefully we can continue to grow.
we talked about it a couple minutes ago. You just mentioned it. Sam Howell, a quarterback who has been known to babysit the ball. I know the Falcons were looking at the game a couple weeks ago with Desmond Ritter in Detroit. Was like, man, this defense is swarming Ritter. Well, at that same time, the Bills were going ham on Sam Howell. Even worse than that. So for Falcon fans that's getting ready this Sunday, this is a game where you want your defense to shine, right? Because Bubba Gump just pointed it out. Bills defense first in sacks with 21 right now.
21.
And the Falcons, I mean, I love sitting at 3-2. I'm gonna feel even better sitting at 4-2. But give me at least 2 or 3 sacks on Sunday. I want to see somebody get to the ground. But then again, the Falcons are 3-2 right now, where they are sitting defensively around the league, but where they're sitting in the sack rankings, I know they're not at the top of the board. I know they're not top 5 or top 10, but guess what? We are 3-2 because we are playing. We have a complete defense. So everybody's doing their job on the first level, on the second level. So I know we can't get to the quarterback just yet as we wanted to, but Ryan Nielsen did say the sacks will come, and I trust him because this team did also say we should have a winning record, and we're 3-2. So I'm trusting a lot of people over here in the Falcons organization.
There you go. And I wish there was a stat that showed how many passes were thrown away, because to a certain extent, I feel like that is almost as important as a sack, because if you think about it, it's a wasted down. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I remember watching that Green Bay game, and Jordan Love, he threw a few passes away, and there were a lot of passes that he just missed because the pressure was there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it kind of goes back to the old Mike Smith train of thought, where Mike Smith used to say all the time, you want to get sacks, but sacks aren't the end all be all, because you just want to get that quarterback off his spot. How many times we heard Mike Smith say that? So I mean, being top 10 in defense now, I think we just got 5 sacks so far this year. I'll take it. I'll take that every day, twice on Sunday, more than last year, more than the year before that, more than the year before that. I'll take this defense every time.
This team has to now go out there and play against the Commanders on Sunday. But as we wrap up on the recap for the Texan game, Country, who gets your game ball? My game ball was D. Alford on defense. And I just want to just call out one player because, I'm a team type of guy. But I had to just break down at least one player. I had to give D. Alford on defense. I said Desmond Ritter on offense for my game ball. Who gets your game ball, Country?
Oh, man, it's so many people. I mean, I would say Desmond Ritter on offense, but I mean, I think just the one play that Bijan Robinson made, whenever he catches the ball without looking, behind the back, hot sauce crossover, goes into the end zone. I think Bijan Iverson. I think that one play, the way, and you were there, like it sparked. It changed the whole energy in the Benz that day. So I think I got to give it to Bijan. It was the stat line the best? No, it wasn't. But impact players make impact plays, and that's definitely a play.
Off the wall question here, Country. We're 5 weeks in now. We've seen Bijan Robinson for a bit. Is he what the Falcons needed? Go back to draft now. Falcons, you had Jalen Carter, Christian Gonzalez. We're 5 weeks in now, but are fans comfortable now with seeing Bijan to say that, yes, the Falcons did a great job with this pick?
Yes. I mean, if you think about it, I put it to you like this right here, Jack. Think about this offense without Bijan Robinson, the struggles that this offense has had so far. Imagine if Bijan Robinson wasn't on this team.
And a banged up CP2 as well.
Exactly, with the banged up CP. So, I mean, just based off of the needs, yes, I think Bijan Robinson was the best move. I mean, look, we don't have Jalen Carter, and we have a top 10 defense right now. So, I mean, yeah, I think, I know everybody says hindsight is 20/20, but I can almost guarantee you that the chat would agree with me, that Bijan Robinson was the best pick, and I feel like he's going to be a superstar in this city for years to come.
Houston, CJ Stroud talked about the cornerback pairing of AJ Terrell and Jeff Okudah. He did give them a little compliment in his press conference briefer after the game. William Amy has now put up, I believe, this is his game ball winner for Sunday, Jeff Okudah. Country, how good has Jeff Okudah been with AJ Terrell since he's been with this team?
Man, I mean, if you just go back and look at OTAs, like you look at OTAs at training camp, like we were there together, Jack. Like
Yeah.
Jeff Okudah was making plays whenever there wasn't no pads on. So I mean, this last game is the first time we got a chance to see him in his full capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, we've seen how good the defense look. Everybody talked about CJ Stroud, airing the ball out like a young Joe from 5 years ago. But the fact of the matter is that with Okudah and your boy AJ, it's like that gives your defense freedom to do so many other things, across the middle of the field, because you know that those guys on the outside are going to hold their own.
Mm-hmm. And you can see it with the communication too as well. When I forget, it was the Tank Dell on AJ broke off his route. AJ was running his cover 2 or 3, so he went back to his adjustments and called to Jesse Bates to let him know we got a guy cutting across the middle of the field. That's when Jesse came up, almost went for the pick. But the communication's working when it's live in game. So for Falcon fans that don't see those type of things, that's why watching those all 22s and watching those repeated games when they play it on TV is very important, because people didn't notice that AJ Terrell had signaled to Jesse Bates about the runner coming across the middle where Jesse can lean up into the step up into the throw and go for the interception. It's communication that you love to see. And I know fans saw the video after the game, but that's what they're talking about on the field. So just imagine the connection between AJ Terrell and Jeff Okudah right now in the locker room, at training, at camp, at practice. This ain't no 1-year thing. They look like they're gonna be locked in for a while here in Atlanta, Falcon fans.
Oh yeah. All these guys, you can tell they love playing with each other, and like you said, man, they just getting started. Bro. So it's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. It's gonna be a beautiful
That's
thing.
right.
But
It
look, man,
definitely
I
is.
gotta get ready to finish this trip on out, man. I appreciate you for having the old dog on and chopping it up with you for a little bit, though.
Definitely. Can we get anything quickly, less than 30 seconds? Your take for Falcons Commanders Sunday. What do the Falcons have to do to win?
For one big thing is that we know that the Washington Commanders, they're going to try to air the ball out. I think they throw the ball like the most in the NFL. So I'm looking for them to throw the ball at least 35 times. I believe that you might get your wish on Sunday. I think that they could get a few sacks. Also on the defensive side of the ball, on their defensive side of the ball, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that they have the highest percentage of letting teams score on the first drive.
Mm-hmm.
So over the last 2 or 3 weeks, you hear Arthur Smith talk about starting fast. Starting fast for us this week is not going to do anything but help boost Desmond Ridder's confidence and the rest of his offense's confidence. And shoot, man, you might be able to put up a 30-burger this week.
Falcon fans, you hearing it from Big Little Country Sports. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to check in with us. Safe driving to you, my brother, and Coach Roney. I know y'all going out there to go. It's a family trip. Y'all have a good time. Is it y'all going to go gamble? What y'all finna go do over there? What going on in them streets in the Macon Street now? But I know you guys are having a great time.
Yeah,
family trip.
So family trip. Yeah. I gotta go down here and check out my little cousin. He's doing big things and getting recruited. He actually got a letter from Alabama earlier this week. So so we gotta go and make sure we support him and keep him on the right track.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man. If you do pass by Chase, just drop off that ladder. He left it in my yard last week. I do thank you for taking the time out of your day, Country, to come talk Falcons football, not only with me, but with the Falcons fan base, Big Country. So thank you, brother.
Hey man, you already know how we do it, man. Thanks so much for having me. You already know what in the world, Bo. It's great to be on the line with the best podcaster in the world, Jack Spade. What in the world, Bo?
Hey, going down a major way. Big shout out to Country. Country, I'm going to go ahead and get you up out of here so that way you can go ahead and enjoy your night. Thank you to Country, Coach Roney. When you got fans like Country who can take 5-10 minutes out their day, even when they're driving in the pouring rain, to come talk Falcons football with you all, it's a blessing because I hit Country and said, yo, Country, I'm on the show by myself tonight. Would you like to come in here for just a couple minutes and talk some Falcons football with just the fans? I'm sure they would love to hear what you have to say about Falcons Commanders, Falcons Texans. And he said, bro, I'd love to do it for 3 or 4 hours, but I can only do it for 10, 15 minutes a night because he's on the road. I said, Country, that would be great. But sent the link to him, jumped right in, talk Falcons football with you all, and that's great. So go check out Big Low Country Sports on YouTube. He's also on Twitter too as well. He's also a big diehard Falcons fan. You can catch him at the home games. He's working well with the Rise Up Tour for these away game events that we have going on. Big Low Country Sports. So best go check him out on YouTube because he is the best content creator in the world. He better than me. I don't know what to do. So y'all go check out Big Low Country Sports. The Falconator's here in the chat. He said, what up, my Nashville compadre? So for those that do not know, we've been talking about it a while here on One Time for the Fan, but y'all know how I get down with the Rise Up Tour. What my affiliation is with the Rise Up Tour. We put on these meet and greets. We put on these events when we go on the road. We've been doing it for about 5 years now. Of course, we have the membership group. It's amazing how big Falcon fans really are. When you bring them together in a tight community where people can stay at the same hotel so they can hang out with Falcon fans. They go out to the same bar to go drink and watch the games, restaurants to go eat, sightseeing together, meet and greet part. It don't matter. When we go on the road, we have a very good time. And for those that do not know, it took a lot to really build this chapter with the Falcons fan base for these road games. And it started with just a couple people, you know what I'm saying? But now we are well over 1,000 members in our group. And we are moving in the right direction. And the Falconator, Big Low Country Sports, a lot of people in this chat too as well has probably been to a Rise Up Tour event. If you've been on the road to an away game and you've seen our events and how we rock, y'all know how we get down. So Tennessee is coming up. You know, Tennessee is right up the street. So, of course, the Rise Up Tour, you know, we always put on something every city we go to. No matter where we at. We did something in London too as well. Big shout out to Darren Cole, our UK ambassador, who found the location on Thursday, sent us the flyer. We put it out, had over 300 people in the building in London to watch the Georgia Bulldogs play. So the UGA watch party was a success. Big shout out to everybody who showed up and showed out in their Rise Up Tour gear, in their Falcon gear, in their Georgia gear. It didn't matter. We're all Falcon fans. That's what I represent. Everybody in that group, everybody who shows up to these games, home and away, we represent this fan base in an amazing way. Sonia was there. Sonia, you didn't know this, did you? We found the location Thursday. We were looking all over London. We found the location Thursday, and we told them that we was going to have 2 tables and only 20 people. That's what we told them. 2 tables. It's going to be about 20 people. We had almost 300 people in the building. They loved it. The establishment loved it. And I said we could have brought more, but this is London. I'm sure people don't even know how to get around like that. But don't let this. Oh, you see what we did in New Orleans last year? We reached Razoo's capacity. It's well over 500, 600, 700 people in it. Every city we go to, we turn up. Every city we do this. It doesn't matter what we do. We're going to turn up. So, of course, in Tennessee this year, we got a little something planned for y'all. You know, big shout out to everybody else who's doing something out there too as well. But we got something planned for y'all. The Falconator. One Time for the Fan. Big Low Country Sports. Rise Up Tour. We got a lot going on. So stay on the lookout. Oh, just be ready for the flyer. The flyer's going to drop real soon. So just be on the lookout. But at the end of the day, it's all for this Falcon fan base. I let y'all know this all the time. I'm a die-hard Atlanta Falcon fan. I fought with the Bulldogs and the United and Braves and Hawks. That's all me too. But I'm a die-hard, true to the bone Atlanta Falcons since the day I was born type of fan. You know what I'm saying? So when we came together to do this Rise Up Tour thing, the ultimate goal is just to bring fans together. That's all it is. And then seeing Packer fans come to your stadium, seeing Bears fans come to your stadium, Bills fans, who else? Saints fans, who else got big? Kansas City, Steelers. I was like, man, why can't we do this when we go on the road, man? Why can't we do this? And that's where the Rise Up Tour idea came from. My boy Thomas, man, had the plan. I said, yo, let's run with it. 5 years later, this is where we're at right now with fans who just love to be a part of what we have going on with creating this atmosphere, this new environment of the Falcons fan base, especially on the road. Home games, man, we rock out. PSL holders, season ticket holders, tailgate Home Depot, backyard, tailgate gate 1, tailgate lot blue, yellow lot. We've been doing that. To go on the road is something else. So the Falconator, big shout out to him. Big shout out to Big Low Country Sports. But yes, there is some things we have going on in Tennessee. So if you'd like to be a part of that, let me know. But it starts on Friday, ends on Sunday, but we're going to have a good time. So for Falcon fans going to Tennessee for the Falcons versus Titans game, we do have some stuff planned for you all. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Bubba Gump is in the chat. Shout out to Big Bubba Gump. Pasta Girl is in the chat. Huge Falcons fans, but the future looking bright for the Texans. We talked about this the other night too as well on the podcast. We didn't come in here and bash the Texans. They put up a pretty good damn fight against the Falcons. They sure did. So we're not going to come in here and hate on them. They didn't bring that many fans too as well. They have a team that they're rebuilding on, a young rookie quarterback. But let's look at Carolina, y'all. They selected the wrong quarterback. Probably the wrong coach too. As they sit now at 0-5. It's looking ugly for them. William Amy, Bijan Robinson going to eat against the Commanders. Bijan should eat well against the Commanders. Don't forget about that front line that the Commanders have. They do apply pressure pretty well when they get in sync during games. But like Country said, they are one of the teams in the NFL that gives up points early. And Coach Fitz has talked about how fast we need to be at putting points on the board. And I think this Sunday is a situation where you can come out there and be up 14-0 in the first if you do this correctly. Finish the game looking at 27-10 Falcons. Defense, 4 or 5 sacks, 2 or 3 picks. One could be a pick 6. You hear what Country said. Howell has been known in the past 5 games to stand there and babysit the ball. That extra 1 second that you need for those sacks that you've been missing, you definitely going to get that on Sunday because you're talking about a quarterback who is looking down every target before he throws the ball. So that 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Oh, come on, get in there. Come on, Grady. That could happen a lot this Sunday because of the fact that the past 3 games for Washington has shown that the offensive line is struggling. Their defense is giving up a lot of points. And their quarterback is just not that good. Let's just put it out there. There's an opportunity for the Falcons to come away with the win. Jimmy Ward had mentioned about the Falcons being one-dimensional, how they wouldn't pass the ball. Oh, if the Falcons have receivers, they might use them. Desmond Ridder went for 300 yards with the same comments that Jimmy Ward said. So let's hope that this Sunday we can get the same performance out of Ridder, or even better. We get even a much better Bijan Robinson. I'd love for Calais Campbell to get his 100 sack. I want him to get his 100 sack at home because the fans will go crazy. They'll probably stop the game, do a couple seconds of a thank you for Calais Campbell. I mean, he's that type of guy. He's super cool, right? Bud Dupree, I think, can also get in there too on Sunday. He's been getting a lot of pressures. Arnold Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone, David Onyemata, get in there on Sunday. It's very possible you can't get to the quarterback because we've seen how bad the offensive line for Washington has been. But let's look at their offense now. They do have some weapons over there where if you see, we played Washington in the past, y'all. Some of those weapons are still out there. Different quarterback. But you got to kick some contact on Terry. Don't leave him open. You've seen what he's done to us in the past. They're a run game too as well. I think they're going to try to lean on that to get off of knowing that the Falcons will definitely get Sam Howell on the ground with this new revamped defense. So I'm sure they're going to try to run the ball as best as they can. So run defense definitely has to stand up on Sunday. Dwayne Ruffin said, let's keep this thing going. Big shout out to Dwayne Ruffin in the chat. Roy Lee Simpson, diehard Falcon fan, said 3-2 start could be worse. Hopefully Washington's still down when they come to town. Well, they ain't bringing no Benz chili bowl down here. I tell you that right now. It's all about the lemon pepper wings. Sonia Nor was in the chat. John Moreno says, sorry, late tuning in. Rise Up had a blast in ATL this week. It was great coming home with that win. John Moreno, who is from Texas, came out here to Atlanta for the game. So I'm sure he had that feeling like, I not only want to win it because I'm a diehard Falcon fan, but I want to win it because I live in damn Texas. And the Texans are playing in Atlanta. Fans probably thought he was a Texan fan. Oh, John, where you going? I'm going to Atlanta. Oh, you're going to watch the Texans play Atlanta? No, I'm going to watch the Falcons beat the Texans. That's John's answer. Big shout out to John Moreno in the chat. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. No Kiki tonight. No Bodie tonight. No Chase tonight. It's just me. One time for the fan. Jack Spade rocking with y'all. A couple more minutes left here on the podcast. Big Low Country Sports stopped by to talk some Falcons football with us for a couple minutes. We have a lot of special guests coming up on the show. I will drop some information for y'all shortly because, all right, we just go to it. Falcons fans here in the chat, they love when we bring special guests on the show. We've had Myles Garrett from Fox 5. We've had not only Big Old Country, Eric Parker, TDP Mojo, Scott Karisic, Intentional Grounding, Lieutenant Dan from Intentional Grounding. Who else we've had? I can keep going on the list. Carrie, the rookie reports that we've done with all the college journalists too as well when we was covering Drake London. Who else? Oh man, so many people. We're well over 25 special guests here on the podcast. Alberto from 95 North, Smitty. Man, hell, Ricondo, a real Falcons fan. So many Falcon fans and special guests that we brought on the show that fans love when we do it. Right? But then some fans hit us up and said, yo, you got to get some Falcon players on this show. And big shout out to D. Alford. I know he was on the chat, checking in with us a couple weeks ago. He's a diehard Falcon fan. Big shout out to D. Oh, look at my friend here. Pinky Monster's in the chat. Shout out to Pinky Monster in the chat. Pinky, we talking Falcons football, so go ahead and put your Falcon colors on. Take all that pink off and put on them Falcon colors. We talking Falcons football. Big shout out to Pinky Monster in the chat. But Falcon fans hit me up and like, yo, what's up with getting some players on the channel, you know? So I was like, well, let's see how we can rock this, right? And of course, we're in season 2 of One Time for the Fan. So we do have a couple former Falcon players that will be joining One Time for the Fan real soon. So big shout out to all the Falcon players who's been on other podcasts. The player who's going to be on our podcast hasn't been on anybody's podcast yet, but you know, we're always glad to have anybody who can join One Time for the Fan to talk Falcons football with us. And big shout out to having people who rock with One Time for the Fan, who support One Time for the Fan. Not with like giving us money or anything, but just with trying to get, you know, things established with, you know, networking with other folks and connecting with other people. So big shout out to everybody who's been helping out with One Time for the Fan. You know, we have a lot going on this side, then the Rise Up tour, everything we have going on. So everybody coming together to really push this podcast to another level. We really appreciate that. So yeah, we do have a former Falcon player who's going to be joining the podcast soon. And then after that, we're probably going to have another former Falcon player who's going to be joining the podcast soon. But yes, conversations have been had. And I can announce it here on the podcast that you'll hear some details coming shortly of our first former Falcon player who will be joining the podcast here on One Time for the Fan. Sonia said, wow, that's how we rise up. Damn right, that's how we rise up, Sonia. You already know. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Kara's in the chat. There goes Kiki. Kiki, why the hell? Kiki, get your hands on this. No, I'm just playing. Lyrics Mom, it was nice mic'd up video of Arthur Smith. At the end, he was Stroud. He has a bright future. Yeah, hearing Arthur Smith talk about, you know, of course, when everybody's mic'd up is super cool because, I mean, if you're mic'd up, you get to hear the sights and the sounds of the game from the field. But when you hear, you know, coaches, you know, praise other players from other teams and stuff like that, that's actually pretty cool because you don't want coaches saying anything negative about some of these young players in the league because Stroud is in his 5th game right now, and he's still doing a good job, I must say, at quarterback. And if he gets this thing on track with the way the Jaguars are looking, I know they came away with a big win on Sunday, But Colts, Titans, it could be a fight between the Texans and the Jags over there in the AFC South. Our Jaguar fan hasn't been back since the game, so I can't even ask him. But it could be a fight between Houston and the Jags in that division for years to come with the quarterback talent of not only Trevor Lawrence, but CJ Stroud in that division too as well. Tennessee, they don't know what's going on over there. Anthony Richardson, I know he's a rookie quarterback, but I don't know. I don't get to see Anthony Richardson being the future of the Colts quarterback over there for a long time. But we're going back to Falcons football, y'all. Let's talk about that. Sonya Norwood, die hard 24/7, 360. You already know, Sonya. This is real. This is real. Die hard Atlanta Falcons shit, man. You already know what it is. I'm going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game week 7. So you'll be down there in Florida. William, we have a meet and greet set up. It's going to be lit. You got to wear your Falcon colors because Rise Up Tour. We have a meet and greet set up with, of course, like I told you about these chapters, the fan bases, like how you're rocking with other fan bases. Like the Packers have like 10, 15, 20 different chapters here in Georgia. Cowboys too, 49ers too. What we're trying to create is something special. We're trying to take this to the next level. So we are linking up with Crew Life. Crew Life is a chapter of the Bucks fan base. Of course, they're super cool, right? They're not no obnoxious fans. They're not coming over here trying to be rude and disrespectful. But they are Bucks fans, and they reached out to us. They want to go ahead and do a joint Rise Up Tour Falcons Bucks party. It's going to be crazy. The building that we used in Tampa before couldn't hold the amount of people that we're bringing this time, so we had to change up the building, go to a bigger spot. And big shout out to Crew Life. So they will be in the building wearing their Bucks gear. Falcons fans will be in the building wearing our Falcon gear. But at the end of the day, it's all fan love. That's what it is. It's all fan love. It's just fan behavior, right? This team thinks they're going to win. Our team, we know we're going to win. We go out there, we buy some drinks, we buy some food, we have a good time. Everybody enjoys the night. Next morning, we wake up and watch the Falcons smack the Bucks in Tampa. So, William, Amy, hit me up when you get to Tampa, my brother. Roy Lee Simpson, 2 picks, 6 and 5 sacks, no less. Defense needs to rise up and prove themselves, especially on this Sunday against a struggling Washington Commanders offensive line. And right now at 2-3, a struggling team. William Amy said, and we got to cover Logan Thomas. That is true. We got to cover those tight ends, y'all. Those check downs. Sam Howell's going to play the game similar to how Desmond Ridder was the first couple weeks, even though they're going to try to air it out to Terry down the field a few times. You got to watch those check downs and, of course, the tight end. The tight ends recently have been getting some yards on us. So we must make sure that we lock in on that. Richie Grant, however, Tay Davis, DeMarco Helms, Hawkins, you in there? Whoever's on that coverage for that tight end, let's go ahead and lock them down because we definitely don't want that to happen out there on Sunday. Pinky Monster said they're wearing pink too. It's October. That is true. The Falcons are wearing pink. Crucial Catch Month here in the NFL. So big shout out to all the teams who's representing for Crucial Catch Month right now in the NFL. And yes, pink is the color. I have my Falcons. They gave me something on Sunday. Oh, damn, I don't have it. Yeah, they gave me something on Sunday that had the Falcons pink logos and everything on there. So it's actually pretty cool that the NFL is also supporting this cause too as well. Big shout out to the Atlanta Falcons because Arthur Blank, he's really big in the community and he's also big for like stuff like this. So big shout out to the Falcons for changing up their merch and giving away T-shirts at the game on Sunday. And they had the pink Crucial Catch bags and lanyards and stuff like that. So that's actually pretty cool. Rosalind Ross said that hat is fire. Yeah, this hat, big shout out to Kenny, former equipment manager from the Atlanta Falcons. He blessed me with this hat. This was I want to say this was right before the New Orleans game. Yeah, this is right before the New Orleans game in New Orleans. He blessed me with the hat. So big shout out to Kenny, who's no longer with the Falcons, but he's still a big time fan of One Time for the Fan. Leando, Deshaun Bailey said, rise the fuck up. See, I ain't got Bodie here, so I ain't got to do the F-bomb counter. When Bodie's here, it's like F-bomb, shit, F-bomb, damn, F-bomb. It's like, you know how Bodie is now. Leando's in the chat. Big shout out to you, my good brother. LaMarcus Boyd, one time for the fan. Let me go ahead and give you a rundown on LaMarcus Boyd right here. LaMarcus lives in Arizona, and this is some fan behavior. Falcon fans, tune in, hit that like, share, and subscribe. This is fan behavior. LaMarcus lives in Arizona. LaMarcus flew from Arizona to Detroit. flew from Detroit back to, wait a minute. LaMarcus, you flew from Arizona to Atlanta for the Falcons Packers. Then you went back and then you flew from Arizona to Detroit for Falcons Lions. And then you flew from Arizona to London for that game too as well. Big shout out to LaMarcus Boyd. You got a fan who lives in Arizona doing all of this. And I got another fan on my text. You be talking to me about, man, them tickets too expensive, big dog. They too expensive. Man, my boy LaMarcus flying from Arizona to the Benz. Arizona to Detroit. Arizona to London. And you know he coming back to the Benz soon as well. So big shout out to LaMarcus Boyd for all that he does here with the Falcons fan base out there on the West Coast. But LaMarcus is also the Arizona ambassador for the Rise Up Tour. And LaMarcus has put together some great events coming up next month when the Falcons play the Cardinals. So for those that's heading out to Arizona, we have the host hotels that's set up too as well, right across the street from the stadium. I believe LaMarcus has the Saturday morning event and then the Saturday afternoon event. Then we have the meet and greet Saturday night. But we also have some other smaller things going on. But when you got people like LaMarcus Boyd and Stevie Correga in Arizona who are diehard Falcon fans, I'm telling y'all, there's Falcon fans all over the world, y'all. Falcon fans all over the world. LaMarcus Boyd is one of them. William Amy said, I will, man. He will definitely link up with us in Tampa. So shout out to William Amy. Let me know. Lyric said, where is Kenny? Kenny is, I don't know, want me to call him? I ain't gonna call him. If I call him right now, he's gonna be like, yo, fam. All right, next show, we're going to give a surprise call to Kenny, former equipment manager of the Atlanta Falcons. We'll give him a call and see where he's at. Big shout out to Kenny. November hats, you know how it was last year, man. It was a little decked out. I don't think I wore this one on the podcast yet. I got a couple more. Falcons, they also had this one too as well. They love the merch now. The Falcons give you that merch. Let me get this banner up out the way. They gave this away during the Falcons Saint game too as well. Right there. So big shout out to that one. They had the hat, the Scully too. But yeah, Falcons always come with some dope ass merch, man. Like y'all got to get up on y'all Falcons merch, man. Like the team store is one thing, but check Fanatics. I don't buy off these Facebook groups where the person posts a picture with the 10 jerseys on the bed and says this one is 25. I ain't doing that shit. Nah, I'm going straight to Fanatics. I'm going straight to the team store, or I got my little connections with it. I'm gonna say too much, but it's going down in a major way. The Falconator, he's still in the chat. Diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. Make sure you guys vote for Fan of the Year. The Falconator is running for Fan of the Year. Make sure you guys vote for Vinny. He said Kenny no longer with the Falcons. Something about a stolen. Shit, what's my other hat? Nah, bruh. Not me. You know that would never happen, man. Diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. The Falconator is in the building. And of course, the Falconator is just like Country and myself, but the Falconator has really done a great job of making sure that when fans come to Tennessee, they got some things to do. And I just want to make sure that fans know that this is a group effort, man. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot when people have to go out there and spend their time calling these places, speaking to these people, making sure that the place is nice for fans, and there's places to park and things down the street and in the area, and it's safe and secure. But when you talk to fans like Vinny's a diehard fan, but Vinny always mentions the fans all the time. Hey man, what about the fans? Hey man, what can we do for the fans? He is a diehard fan. You can also see Vinny on the new Atlanta Falcon promo video that just came out recently. He has his 10, 15, 20 seconds of fame shot right there, Vinny. But I made the outfit. Just want to put that out there. Now I'm just playing. But Vinny's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a good guy. And big shout out to the Falconator and his wife, too, as well, representing the Atlanta Falcons fan base. Well, John Moreno said, get with Thomas Scott next show to see the new Rise Up Tour belt and show it on the show. So, John Moreno, you have a Rise Up Tour belt? Let me know now. Because I know the Rise Up Tour podcast will be next week, Tuesday. We'll be going over everything about Tampa and everything about Nashville. Don't forget, we also have a bus trip to Tampa, too, as well, and a bus trip to Nashville. So for Falcon fans looking for something to do to get down to Tampa, we have a bus trip, host hotel, meet and greet party. Man, we like travel planners in this little thing, man. We're trying to make sure everybody has a good time. But before we go ahead and start wrapping up the show, Guess who the announcer is for the game on Sunday? Matt Ryan will be one of the in-studio broadcast announcers for the game on Sunday on CBS. So you have Matt Ryan doing the in-studio CBS broadcast. I believe there is a Michael Vick hype video that's supposed to be played in the Benz as well on Sunday. And then you have Desmond Ridder coming off pretty much one of the greatest performance for him in a Falcon uniform. This is going to be something else. Matt Ryan in studio, Michael Vick performance. I believe they might even have Michael Vick at the Benz on Sunday, because I'm sure if you're going to show the hype video, what's a better way to hype up the fans rather than showing the video? Bring them out. I'm sure Michael Vick should be there at the Benz on Sunday. So let's get ready to see if Vick does show up. It would be great to have not only, one of the Falcons legends, Matt Ryan, in the studio talking about the Falcons, but then another Falcons legend, Michael Vick, on the sideline of the Falcons. And then you have Desmond Ridder, the future quarterback here in Atlanta, getting ready to go out there and get the team to 4-2 to beat the Washington Commanders. That would be great to have. The Falconator said the belt will be with the Rise Up Tour this weekend. Y'all going over this Rise Up Tour belt. I need to start getting me one of those WWE belts. Put a one time for the fan belt. Matter of fact, go ahead. Let me get that info, man. I need to see if I get me a one time for the fan belt. I know y'all got the tag team championship. Y'all ain't got the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to take y'all back to them old wrestling days, Vinny. The Intercontinental Championship. What else they had? The U.S. champion. What was it? What was it? Chris Benoit used to win those. Like Scott Steiner used to win those. So I remember some of those belts and everything too for all my wrestling fans out there. But it's great to see Matt Ryan, Michael Vick being a part of something, doing the in-house CBS broadcast. Vick on the field for the hype. Well, let's hope he's on the field. The hype video is supposed to be played in the stadium. I'm guessing why play the hype video when Vick can easily just walk the field and just, give a little wave to the fans, and the fans can go crazy. Quickly, let's go around the NFL before we get up out of here, because I know Falcon fans want to go ahead and finish their night. AFC East, you have Miami in first at 4-1, Buffalo in second at 3-2, the Jets in third at 2-3, and New England sitting dead last in the back of the pack at 1-4. AFC North, you have the Steelers sitting at 3-2, the Baltimore Ravens at 3-2, Cleveland Browns at 2-2, and of course the Cincinnati Bengals at 2-3. AFC South, Jacksonville and Indy, they're on the top of the boards at 3-2. Houston's 2-3. Tennessee is 2-3. AFC West, Kansas City leads the pack at 4-1. Chargers are 2-2. Vegas 2-3. And the don't know what the fuck is going on in Denver Broncos is 1-4. Heading over to the NFC, this is where it matters, Falcon fans. Philly is 5-0. Dallas is 3-2. Washington, who we play Sunday, is 2-3. And of course, the Giants at 1-4. So Giants in Denver playing the toilet bowl right now. Of course, New England playing the toilet bowl too as well. Not looking good in those respective rights. NFC North, Detroit, you've seen it. They beat us too as well this season. They are actually off to a good start. They're 4-1. Green Bay is 2-3. Chicago 1-4. Minnesota 1-4. NFC West, got those 5-0 49ers in the building. A team that we might have to see if we get long into the playoffs, because the 49ers seem like they are a decent team this season. The Seattle Seahawks at 3-1, Rams at 2-3, Cardinals, who we play shortly in a couple weeks, at 1-4. And of course, the NFC South, you have your Tampa Bay Bucks at 3-1. You have your Atlanta Falcons sitting at 3-2. The New Orleans Saints at 3-2 as well. And the worst team in the NFL at this moment is in our division, the Carolina Panthers. Falcon fans, it's always great talking Falcons football with you all. What more can I say? Falcons have to come out there on early. I'm sorry, I've been drinking. Falcons had to get out there early against the Commanders. They got to put points on the board in the first quarter. That's number one. They got to get Sam Howell to the ground early in the game. The pressure that I've been seeing in the past the teams playing against the Commanders, Sam Howell is probably going to throw about 2 or 3 picks this game. You can get him on the ground about 4 or 5 times, but you can get about 2 or 3 picks out of him too as well. And the way that this team been playing, any turnover from Commanders is going to probably result into points for the Falcons. Because this team is clicking, this team is rolling right now in the right direction, coming off that big win against Houston. So for Falcon fans showing up to the game on Sunday, rise up, represent, get loud. Of course, you know how we do it at home or on the road. This is your last home game before the next 2 road games. So pretty much your last home game of the month. So let's go ahead and represent this Falcon fan base well. Let's show up on Sunday in the Benz. Tickets are still available. And I don't want to hear about, oh, man, them tickets too expensive. Right now, I've seen a ticket, $37. Let me go see how much the tickets are right now for this Falcon game. I know people over here going to complain. Let's see how much these tickets are. Falcons Commanders. All right, Falcon fans, you can get in the building right now. Falcons Commanders for, come on now, $38. What tax? It's gonna be like what, 52 or something. So you can get into the Benz right there to go watch the Falcons play the Washington Commanders on Sunday. So for Falcon fans that haven't been to the Benz, come on out, buy a ticket. For Falcon fans that haven't been to a game this season, come on out, come watch the Falcons win on Sunday. Every Falcon fan in that building is needed. Get in there, make noise, get loud, be proud to represent your Atlanta Falcons. Sterling Wood said, what's going on tonight? Sterling, we get in here chopping up about the Falcons. Big win on Sunday, or past Sunday against the Houston Texans. And now they have to go ahead and prepare to go beat the Washington Commanders. 4-2 is on the table right now for the Atlanta Falcons. Sterling Woods, William Amy, John Moreno, the Falconator, everybody who's in the chat, everybody who's been watching and listening one time for the fan. We want to give a shout out to you all. Keep supporting and representing the crew. You know, we love talking Falcons football in a positive way. We're not here doing no bashing, no negativity, and none of that stuff. It's all about winning. Of course, when we do lose, we have to find ways to get better. So me, Jack Spade, checking in for Bodie, Kiki, Chase, everybody in the chat. Just want to say thank y'all. Don't forget the details for Tennessee, the meetup in Tennessee. If you are coming to Tennessee to watch the Falcons beat the Titans, one time for the fan, the Falconator, Bigelow Country Sports. We are hosting an event on behalf of the Rise Up Tour. So for those that's coming in town, let's rock out. Let's have a good time. But we got something going on Friday and Saturday too as well. So rise up to everybody in the chat. Falcons will kick y'all back Sunday night. 4-2 Falcons team Sunday. We are definitely going to find out at the Benz at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Sterling Woods, last comment of the night, he said the offensive line will have to step up this week. We did talk about it, Sterling. That defensive front for Washington, they ain't no slouch. They still get after it. They put up some of the highest pressures, I believe, too, in the NFL. So seeing Deron Payne, got Chase Young, got some guys out there that you've played before in the past. Jake Matthews knows these guys pretty well. Chris Lindstrom knows these guys pretty well. Caleb McGarry, if you're out there, you know these guys pretty well. Even Drew Dahlman knows these guys pretty well. So let's turn around what's been happening in the past with Washington beating us to now seeing this new look Falcons going out there and go 4-2. Because I'm ready to party on Sunday right after the game. And I need the Falcons to go 4-2. So rise up to everybody in the chat. Of course, you know, we'll be back Sunday at 8. It's going down in a major way. Rise up, y'all.